What was your toughest transaction and how did you see it through? Oh Lord, that's like a whole day long. That's right. How do you choose? I'll say there was one recently that was really, really tough, and I knew it was going to be tough before we went into it, where I knew somebody had a VA loan, and I knew the house was not, it was going to have a bazillion lender required repairs. There was acreage versus house value issues. There were septic issues. There were termite issues. There was a seller who had no resources, and it was just going to be just a huge thing the whole time. That's where your team comes in, because we set the expectations of what that would potentially look like. But we closed, and everybody was so happy. The seller was happy, the buyer was happy, and I stressed so much throughout that whole transaction. So I'm never going to tell you guys that the more you do this, the less you're going to stress, because that's not true. I don't really know how to break that down. I mean, I have a lot there. I have septics failing left and right. So you guys don't have as many septics up here. That's like a disaster, and we're having it happen left and right, it seems lately. So there's just a lot of wrenches where you can have a perfect transaction going, and then all of a sudden you have county permits that have to be pulled, you have an $8,000 septic replacement, you have sellers that are devastated, you have buyers who are now scared of owning a home with a septic. I mean, there's a lot. So just go back to the whole thing I read at first about home and what that means. And when you sit there and you get frustrated and you're, I don't know why that they're overreacting about this, and they're upset and they're crying, and this one's now mad and this, that, and the other. Go back and remember what home is, and put yourself in that position. And I have to do that a lot of times, where I'll get off the phone and say, I would be so upset if that were me. We do that all the time. We'll get off the phone, Joyce sits next to me, and we're like, oh my gosh. So you have to remember that, and we've said this a lot of times over the years, that as a realtor, you're also sometimes a counselor. It's also why you often become friends. It's why you become close family confidants. So if you could go back in time and change one thing in order to improve your outcome, what would it be? I'll let you guys. I don't know that I would change anything. Honestly, I think that it's not like everything is always perfect, but I've learned from every single thing and every decision that I've made, and every year has been a growth year. And I'll explain to you, every other year I do growth in business and then personal. Growth in business and then personal, and that's what I've been doing for the last almost 5 years now, where this year is much more personal. Sphere has been one of our themes for the year. It's been more personal time for me. This is the first year that I did not up my personal production limits, because I felt like last year I hit my limit as far as what I can do quality-wise. We upped our team goals, we upped a lot of other goals, and for me, I upped personal goals. But this is a year of personal. So next year, I'll reassess that and maybe up my professional goals again. But I think it's really important to not lose sight of that, because my son just turned 16. He was, when I quit my other job when he turned 1. So I went into this so that I could be a good mom. I didn't go into this so that I could never see him and be stressed out. And I'm stressed out sometimes, but hey, nobody's perfect.